Welcome back, everyone, to episode 32 of our top 5 PvP battle series. If you guys are interested in sending in your own clips for the top 5, you can send them in to KristoferESO@hotmail.com. And we pick out the clips for the episode live on stream together, and you guys vote on your favorite clips. So without further ado, coming in at number 5 this week, we have got that SillyFLOW on his Magicka Nightblade. And they're just doing a little bit of 2vx with his friendly sorcerer here outside of the enemy keep. The Sork quickly finishing off one player there. SillyFLOW quickly moving to go for the player that is being rezzed. And a massive combo with the ultimate there to finish off the rezzing player. And SillyFLOW's just going to set his defenses down, and now they're going to put some pressure on this enemy Dragon Knight here. The Dragon Knight, of course, has wings up, so SillyFLOW's just making sure to chase him around and force him to continue to use the wings. There we see the fear into the meteor from the Sork. SillyFLOW wanting to go for the finish. The Dragon Knight continuing to keep the wings up, but he's going to go down to the Sorcerer's Execute. So after finishing off the players outside, SillyFLOW and Sergeant Baxter move inside the keep here, and they're quickly going to attack this guy on siege here. This guy is just doing his best to tank it out, but it's a little bit too much pressure. There's the fear and the Execute from the Sork as well. SillyFLOW putting in the pressure too, and they're going to work their way towards the siege line now and work on this guy. Oh my gosh, what a huge combo to bring that player down. He didn't even notice what happened, and now they're going to wreak havoc on the side of the siege line, quickly tearing into the first player here. He does a good job healing himself, pounding the purges as well, but it's just a lot of pressure from SillyFLOW and the Sork, and the rest of the blue players are not doing much to help out. This DK quickly turning around and running the other way, so SillyFLOW is going to change targets right back to this player here who's trying to help out his friendly players and just work with his friendly sorcerer here, and they see the player on siege. SillyFLOW quickly getting the interrupt on the siege player there, and he's just going to wait for the end of the eclipse and then turn back onto this sorcerer here. And SillyFLOW just continues to apply pressure, making sure to rotate his heals and shields as well. Gets a great fear off on this guy. The light attack into the ultimate. Really clean cancel to bring him down. And now SillyFLOW's just going to go debilitate the really tanky player on siege a little more, but just keep working on these blue. Noticing more blue coming in through the door here as well. SillyFLOW quickly goes for the first target coming in, hits him with the fear, goes for the ultimate. The enemy rolls the finishing move there, but SillyFLOW goes for the rest of the pressure, finishing him off, and an enemy Templar coming from behind with the Dawnbreaker. Silly's just going to do his best to get his heals back up and rotate right back on top of this Templar. And the target selection with these two, they're doing such a good job working one target at a time, making sure to finish these guys off. And there we see the Sork gets a nasty stun off on the enemy Templar there, and SillyFLOW's going to go for pressure with his Swallow Soul, just continuing to apply that devastating pressure, and down that guy goes. And now there are just 2 blue players left. SillyFLOW goes right away on top of the enemy. I think it is a Templar. No, it is a Sorcerer here. He drops the negate, and he's just going to continue to apply pressure. Does a good job dodging the incoming stun. The Sorcerer just has nothing to respond to. Down he goes, and now SillyFLOW and the Sork have got 2 players left. Another enemy player coming in here as well. Silly goes for the fear on top of him into the ultimate. Great damage there. The fellow Sork going for the damage as well. They quickly bring down that player. And now SillyFLOW and this Sork see the enemy Blazing Shield tank. This guy's got 70k HP. They're just going to give him a few pokes. The Templar ends up running off, and they take the fight home. Now, coming in at number 4 this week, you guys voted for SixShort ESO on his Stamina Dragon Knight, and here you see SixShort just working his way back in between this tight place here. He's got quite a few friendly players with him, but there is a massive DC Zerg coming through here, and what I really like about this fight is that even though these guys are not grouped up, there's great coordination between all of the yellow players here. And the blue players come pouring through the gap. SixShort goes for the Execute on the lower health player here. And notice how much ultimate he generates when he goes for that Execute. He is running the Asylum 2-hand, so a really great combo on the Stamina Dragon Knight. And SixShort's just going to reset his buffs, come back around the corner, dot this guy up, and go for the Executes into the leap. He wants to finish off this player, but tons of healing power coming from that enemy group. SixShort forced out of that location, making sure to use that roll dodge effectively on the medium armor Stamina Stamina Dragon Knight, and SixShort's just going to come back into the back end of the group, get a good stun off on this guy, dot him up really fast, and try to go for that Executioner, but right away taking pressure from the enemy group. A good roll through them, and the allied player actually takes the aggro there, so SixShort's going to reset his buffs and open up on the group here, gets a good stun there into the Dawnbreaker, the Executioner finishing off a player at the front of the stack, a friendly Dawnbreaker on the stack as well, and they're pushing these blue back out through the entrance. They're just doing their best, completely surrounded on both sides by this blue Zerg, and SixShort just taking so much punishment from the group. He goes for his leap, getting the resource and the healing back, takes a nasty stun, the enemy negate coming down. SixShort just keeping his wings up, keeping his buffs rotated, healing up as much as he can to get back around this corner and reset and just try to re-engage with this massive blue group. The rest of the friendly yellow players are also getting pushed back by this blue group, but SixShort's just going to go in on the low health player, try to get those Executioners off, but a little bit too much healing power, goes for the leap and still unable to capitalize on the kill there, as there's just a ton of pressure from the front end of this blue Zerg. And SixShort and all of the yellow players slowly work their way back behind this gap. There's only 3 yellow players left with him now, and they're just trying to get a good position on top of this big blue group. The blue players just come pouring around the corner. SixShort drops the Dawnbreaker, tries to get some pressure on this group here, and enemies respond with their own ultimate dump, and they're pushed back yet again. SixShort just kiting back behind the doorway here and just waiting for his opportunity. Look at the ultimate generation, the Minor Heroism, the Asylum 2H, so much ulti gen on this build. SixShort just rotating his heals here, making sure to keep himself and his friendly players healed up as the blue group ulti dumps and pushes through the corridor. SixShort just trying to tank it out, unable to drop his Dawnbreaker as the enemy negate came down there, and now he's fairly low on stamina, takes a nasty leap there. Fortunately for him, the blue group is not focused on top of him, but the ally player drops a Dawnbreaker. SixShort drops the Dawnbreaker, the third player with the Dawnbreaker, finishing off 2 of the blues on the stack and wounding another one. SixShort right away going for pressure on the last blue player there, finishing him off with the Executioner. And look at this, he's nearly got another Dawnbreaker ready, but the blue so fast to res their fellow members here, and SixShort and the friendly players yet again are just forced to back up because they cannot hold their ground against this massive group here. But the blue group all focused on one of the tankier players here, and SixShort and the rest of these guys just kind of being patient. They're maneuvering around the rocks, just waiting for their opportunity to open on these blue players. And here we go, SixShort coming in on the back of the blue as they rotate around here. Hits a great intro combo on the first enemy, the friendly Dawnbreaker. SixShort's Dawnbreaker finishing that guy off, goes for the execute on the next player. And now they're left with this very tanky blue to fight. And the rest of the blue group is actually running around the other side of the rocks here. So SixShort just trying to take advantage of this split on the enemy group as they slowly trickle in from the side. But here they come one at a time. SixShort just going for his wings, and he's going to try to help rotate on the front of the enemy group here, going for the executes on top of this enemy player there, but it's not enough. He's very, very tanky, so SixShort goes for the target switch, gets a great stun off on this enemy archer here, right into the execute, nearly finishing him off. The enemy goes for the stealth. He's just trying to get away. He manages to get behind the rocks here and stealth up again, so SixShort's just going to move back behind the rocks here and just watch this huge blue group roll over this side. They've got to get a nice burst combo on this group in order to finish it off. They've taken a lot of kills so far, but it's not quite enough. They're waiting for that positioning around the corner here, and here comes the blue on the stack. The Dawnbreakers come down, but the blue group responds right away with tons of healing, and SixShort and his friends are unable to take down anything in that smack there. But SixShort is just going to keep trying to work a few enemy targets here, just going for the dot up, going for the stuns on the enemy players, but so many blue players. He's got to be really careful with his positioning, just weaving between the trees to make sure he doesn't take that huge amount of enemy damage, and he's found himself yet again off to the side, and he's going to try to open up on the back end of this blue group, finding a very low health player, quickly finishing him off, going for the Dawnbreaker on the next player there, going for the executes as well, trying to finish off this guy, bringing him down with the friendly player, and they have managed to slowly pick off more and more of these blue players as a friendly red player comes in here just to help out fight the blue side. SixShort goes for the leap on the back of the group, finishing off another blue, and there is only 4 of them left. They're finally wiping this entire group, going for the executes here. The enemies go for the negate. It's not enough. Down goes that blue player. SixShort right away moving on to the next target. He goes for the leap on top of him, tries to dot him up right away, and just continues to apply pressure with the Pierce armor rotate, finishing that guy off as well. And now they have got just this last blue player left, this very tanky blue. But yeah, they cleaned up the fight. What a play. And now coming in number 3 this week, you guys voted for Billy C7 on his Magicka Dragon Knight. And as you can see, he's just working his way up into the milestone gate here with lots of blue following him. The first blue that comes up, Billy goes for the meteor. Unfortunately, he gets knocked off by the fire staff knockback, so he's just going to miss his way back up to the top of the tower here and re-engage with these guys. Going for his volatile armor as well. Nice dot off the volatile armor. Gets the whip combo off on this guy here. He's just trying to hang on with the shields. There's the fossilized Billy almost getting the kill off on this guy. Unfortunately, more and more blue working their way up into this mile gate, and Billy's just going to reset his combo here. He's got the Groth Jar working for him as well. He goes for a kite down into the bottom here just to get a little bit of respite and reopen on the blue group. A huge leap into the group there. Unfortunately, the blue responding right away with lots of healing power, and Billy C's just going to continue to dot them up. Look at the target selection here as he works his way around these blue players. He's keeping excellent single target pressure on this guy. Gets him again with the fossilize. He does not break the stun. Billy C taking the first kill there, and he fossilizes the next player, getting good damage into him, but the rest of the blue quickly come flying up the side of the staircase here, and Billy C's just going to have to reset, go for his heals and his buffs, and kite around the top of the staircase here. Really good positioning in order to use that little bit of height as an LOS. He goes for the leap off on this player here. He's already got him dotted up, tries to put the pressure in, but unfortunately Billy notices that there's too much blue pressure coming at him, so he goes for a kite back down to the bottom, using that terrain yet again to split this group apart, finishing off one of the players there. And now he's just going to continue to apply pressure to this group, takes the Fire Staff knockback, resets with his wings, and resets all his buffs, and now he's going to go for the dot up on this guy into the fossilize. Oh my gosh, what a nasty amount of damage, and Billy just continuing to apply pressure to this group. The enemies respond with their Destro ult, and Billy just tanking out the Destro ult. He wants to get the kill here. He tries to put the pressure on top of the Nightblade. The Nightblade ends up stealthing, but Billy just gets him out of stealth there, hits him with the whip, and down he goes. And now Billy has got one last sorcerer at the top here, hits him with the fossilize, goes for the whips. The sorcerer trying to escape, and he's going to fall off the edge. Really nice stuff. Now coming in at number 2 this week, you guys voted for NirnStorm on his Magicka Dragon Knight. More Mag DK goodness for you guys. And here NirnStorm is just fighting 3 players outside of the outpost here. The super cheeky meditate when he notices all the players on the defensive just to get a little bit of resource back. The enemy Soul Assault coming in. NirnStorm responding really well with his healing power and his roll dodge, and just going right away for the meditate around the corner, and then applies pressure to the player by themselves here. The enemy Templar quickly going into the block and the Breath of Life, and NirnStorm's just going to put his wings up, switch onto the Sork, gets a great reflect on him as well, bringing that Sork down, leaping onto this next Templar here, and just applying a lot of damage over time pressure to him, but the enemy Templar doing a great job tanking it out. NirnStorm sets the Immobilize down and goes for the Meditate. So many style points, getting that resource back. The enemy Templar worn out of resources, down he goes, and now NirnStorm is just going to take a peek behind him, trying to see where the rest of the enemy players are. One of the Templars ended up running off, and he gets chased by an enemy Templar, goes for some wings and some meditate, trying to bait this guy away from the resource, but he does not come too far away. NirnStorm again goes in on the Templar here, goes for the inhale into the leap, the whip. What a sweet combo with the target change there, quickly bringing that player down. He had the reflect up. He gets a great reflect on the frags to hit that Sork for quite a bit of damage, goes right away into the pressure on top of of him and quickly bringing that guy down. And now NirnStorm's just going to reset his buffs and reopen with the inhale on these guys there, into the leap, into the whips. Oh my gosh, so much damage. The enemy Warden responding really well with her healing ultimate, and NirnStorm's just going to have to kite out a little bit more, keeping his wings up, gets a good fossilize, or actually an off-balance interrupt there with his inhale, but so much pressure from this enemy group. NirnStorm just kiting back behind the terrain here, and he's going to go for a meditate with his reflect up. The enemy players do not commit to chasing him, so NirnStorm's just going to re-engage with them, keeping his wings up though, and the jump into the meditate, really classy meditate movement, nice stuff to see. He sets down the frost field, goes for the whip, the inhale explosion, oh my gosh, quickly bringing down both players at the side of the building there, and now he's going to go for right away pressure on top of the Sork. The enemies respond with their ultimate, and NirnStorm again with the line of sight into the meditate, returning his resource, and he's going to reopen on top of this enemy sorcerer there. He's got the reflect up, reflecting good attacks on the Sork, the fossilize, oh my gosh, down that guy goes, and NirnStorm goes for the inhale, into the leap, into the whip, finishing off another sorcerer there, and there's a player on siege. Oh my gosh, this poor guy here. NirnStorm goes right away for the bash off the siege there, hits him with the fossilize right away with lots of pressure. I love how he's using his inhale as well to up the amount of burst from his mag DK here, and just continuing to lock down this enemy Templar here, and he comes back behind the pillar. Another great line of sight, a little bit of meditate to get some magic back, and he's going to quickly switch on top of this enemy sorcerer here. This Sork just does not have anything to respond, quickly going down. The enemy player going for the soul assault. NirnStorm responds with aggression of his own, forcing the enemy to drop his soul assault, and NirnStorm just staying on top of this Templar, continuing to apply pressure, finds another player hiding in stealth behind here, quickly goes for the inhale combo. This guy just trying to respond with his shields, and NirnStorm takes a nasty negate from the NPCs, comes back behind the pillar, and right back into the meditate. And he's just going to hold a longer meditate there to get a bit of magicka back before he re-engages on top of the resource. And now he's got all of the blue players here, 4 blue players on top of the resource. NirnStorm just applying a lot of pressure to the first Sork there. There we see the big leap, the target change, gets good pressure into him as well, but the enemy players responding really well with their healing too, and NirnStorm's just going to have a lot of ambient AoE and damage coming in from everything on the front of the resource there. He quickly deals with the incoming meteor, great block on that, healing himself up yet again, and he's going to go for the meditate around the corner here and just try to see if he can lure these blue in, but he's been giving them a lot of work in here. Only one Templar waits out in the field for him. NirnStorm goes right on top of the Templar with the soul assault. He responds again with the leap on the soul assault, really great counter to the soul assault ultimate, and now he's going to quickly switch targets to the enemy Sork there. Oh my gosh, the inhale whip combo, so much damage, gets a great reflected stun on the enemy Templar there. The Templar just holding block, trying his best to tank out NirnStorm's damage, but NirnStorm's just going to continue to apply pressure here, one step at a time. There's the fossilize and the leap, and down he goes. One enemy player left. He's running inside. What a fantastic fight. And finally, for the #1 clip this week, you guys voted for Menelwenne on the Stamina Sorcerer. And as you can see, there's quite a few yellow on top of this flag in the Imperial City here. And Menelwenne is just going to be patient and just try to engage with these guys, taking quite a lot of damage from them at a distance here. But Menelwenne is not phased at all, just going for a little bit of a kite back, but the yellow will not move away from each other. So yeah, Menelwenne is going to be forced to go on top of this, just going to reset the buffs, go in on the enemy group here, streak through them. The Dawnbreaker, really nice kill on the first player there, and a really fantastic streak to just split distance from the group yet again. Takes the Eclipse from the NPC there, just going to break the Eclipse, giving that CC immunity. A great roll dodge and re-engaging with the yellow group, but unfortunately they go right into the barrier. So Menelwenne just works her way back into this building here and is going to try to wait for the yellow players. The yellow players now very zealous, actually chasing into the building. Menelwenne goes right away outside the building and goes for pressure. Great positioning to get behind the group there. Goes for the Dawnbreaker, the Steel Tornado, and the streak with the line of sight. Really good movement on the Stam Sork, and is just going to open on this guy with the poison injection. Gets pulled into the group by the silver chain here. Just goes for the damage over time pressure, keeping up the heals as well. And Menelwenne's just going to try her best best to get these guys to go down. Unfortunately, taking a lot of attacks from this enemy group, doing a great job dodging a lot of them. This guy's going for the res, tries to get the bash there, goes for the Dawnbreaker, the Steel Tornado, getting the kill there, streaking through the enemy group. Great positioning. The next Steel Tornado on the back end of the enemy group there, finishing off another yellow player. And now Menelwenne is just going to go for a really nice draining shot stun right away, checking the rear as well, making sure that there's no pressure behind, and right away going for pressure on top of this guy into the Dawnbreaker, quickly finishing him off. And now Menelwenne has got 2 left on the flag and a 3rd yellow coming in to reinforce the fight here. And Menelwenne right away goes for the yellow coming in to reinforce, gets a great dot up on him here, goes right away for the draining shot actually to finish him off. And Menelwenne just tanking out the NPCs here. Very low maximum stamina, but still continuing to rotate on these guys, getting really nice heavy attacks in to keep that sustain up as well. The NPCs just littering Menelwenne with negative effects and the eclipses, but it's not stopping him. Here we go. 1 more yellow down on top of the flag, continuing to apply pressure here, dotting this guy up fully, and Menelwenne's just going to continue to break the eclipses from the NPCs and focus on bringing down this last tanky yellow player here. The enemy yellow player just kind of holding block, not responding with anything else. He doesn't really have anything left in the tank, out of stamina. The Dawnbreaker right away from the stun. What a fight. Really nice to see that Stamsork. So for our bonus episode today, we have got another clip from SixShort, and this is SixShort actually playing on a Trolley Magicka Templar build. And yeah, look at these poor guys just go flying off the edge. That's all I can really say. I hope that you guys enjoy this trolley little clip. Thank you, everybody, for sending in the clips this week. Fantastic stuff from everybody. And thank you, everyone, for coming in and voting on the clips live on Twitch with me. If you guys are interested in sending in your own clips, you can send them in to KristoferESO@hotmail.com. I also feature builds on the channel, so if you guys want to send in a build, you can send that in too. Looking forward to seeing them. And if you guys are interested in being a part of the voting process and deciding which clips make it into the episode, you guys can, of course, check out my Twitch in the link in the description below. So I just wanted to say a massive shout out to everybody who sent the clips in this week. Really great stuff, guys. Thank you so much for sending your clips in. Everybody who is featured in this episode has links to their YouTube and their Twitch channels down in the description below, so show the love to the ESO community and check out all of these fine ESO channels. If you guys like this video, hit that like button. If you guys are new here, hit that subscribe button. I create regular ESO content, so you can always look forward to more. As another guy gets tossed off the edge, oh my gosh. If you guys really love the channel and you want to help support it, you can always consider becoming a patron on Patreon. A link, of course, is in the description below. And a big shout out to everybody who has gone and become a patron. I really appreciate the help, guys. You help me continue to do this and continue to make content for you guys to enjoy. And finally, guys, we are sponsored by What the Fast. They're a VPN for gamers. They give me better ping to my favorite games, and they're free to try for the first 14 days via the link in the description. So if you guys want to give it a shot, there's no credit card to sign up. It is 100% free, so no harm, no foul if it doesn't give you what you're looking for. Thank you guys again so much for tuning in. Thank you guys again just for being a part of the Top 5 series. I've had an absolute blast doing it, and I'm looking forward to more. So, yeah. Have a great night, everyone, and I'll see you next time.